Streamed live on Twitch at Lord Brandon 10.
All right, YouTube, we are back. We're back, and today we're going over the best and absolute best free-to-play build here for Attal. This is our third unit in the series for the free-to-play builds. So as always, we're going to start off. We're not showcasing mine, obviously, because it's horrible. We're going to be going over the overview. We'll touch into the weapons, why we're using the particular weapons that we are suggesting in this build. We'll go over we'll briefly touch on the relics, not too much to show there. Then we'll go heavy into the artifacts, and as always, we're going to end on doing some practice range testing, and then of course some in-game going out into the field testing with the actual unit to see how the artifacts and everything pair well together. And we're going to have none other than the man himself, Tiva, walk us through this amazing build. So with that, we're going to turn it over to him. All right, Tiva, the floor is yours.
Alrighty, guys. So let's start out with the artifacts. So for Attal, for a free-to-play build, I go with Abundant Plantasm. As you can see, casting the abilities 3 times heals the wielder. We'll touch back up on this in just a minute. All the overflow healing, as you can see, a Ring of Conversion. This works really well with Attal's kit due to her third artifact being the Inverted Fury. She gains weapon damage while she's shielded. And then we're going to casting abilities grants her 24% weapon damage. So why I think these are the best free-to-play options for Attal, because you can see that she gets a lot of increased weapon damage. So we're going to touch back up on why Ring of Conversion. So for Attal's kit, as you notice at the bottom of my screen, she has her HP pool and her shield pool. So you instantly hit your heal, and look at Attal's little meter above her. That's her overflow. So what's really great about Attal and her kit, under her talents, I am a completely free-to-play player. I've only bought in the Battle Pass and 2 Pandora's bundled deals. I only have 5 talent points for her. We're working on the last one, which when she heals an ally or herself during their super, she increased their damage by 30%. This works really well for a free-to-play player. Obviously, I can't test this because, well, I am just 1 short. But that is seriously awesome. If you can pull this off as a free-to-play player, you can increase your Estella's ult, you can increase your Gwen's ult, any of the big hitters, you can give them just a 30% damage buff, which is just amazing for a free-to-play player. You want to get as much value as you can buffing your team and also yourself. And so I want to go over my weapons real fast. This is a lot of controversy, but this is all a player standpoint. So for Attal, I prefer the Crimson. Obviously, I know that this one is, this hand cannon can break impact. It is also very good. I do believe that this holds, at a closer range, it holds actually higher DPS than the Crimson. I personally prefer the Crimson because at a mid-range, it allows you to hit your Qs in your healing up your team a lot easier if you look at the Catalyst boost. So I got lucky. I run a lot of shifting gates, so I was actually able to pull a second Catalyst boost. So the second Catalyst boost is where Crimson actually starts to get a little crazy because it increases the Crimson's fire rate by 540, which is honestly insane. And I will showcase a little bit of Attal, and I will show you why I think she's a completely viable for a free-to-play player. So if you look at Attal, one of the main things for her weapon mastery, as you can tell, there's a bar above my health and my shield. What that does, so while it's at max capacity, so obviously I can't proc it, so you have to shoot 1 time off to the side. When you reload, you get these right to the right of my cursor. You see that I now have little missiles. So why this works really well with her fusion, and I will showcase the fusion really quick. I got Searing Mark and Fraternity for it, and we will showcase why. So the increased damage from the headshots, it stacks up. This works really well with her missiles, and we'll show you some damage real quick. So as you can tell from her weapon mastery, I am proccing all of her missiles. And now for the Crimson, look at her fire rate for that Crimson. The Crimson is still really good. It does well at burning rapid fire Shinkas. She will struggle with impact that the other hand cannon does not struggle with impacts on, which, if you get it and you like that and you want to be able to break impacts, it's great. This one also breaks piercing, So once we get another piercing and calamity ops and other content that is more apparent, she is still going to be a great option for free to play. So I'm going to showcase it into a strike to show off her a little bit of her damage and show you kind of, the breakdown of why we've selected these artifacts, the Crimson, the fusion that we chose.
And if I may, real quick, why are we using, why this particular linear fusion rifle over Royal Contraband? Why are people going to want to go for the end of the line over Destiny 2's Notorious Queen's Breaker?
Oh, I have a great showcase to that. So when I was doing my damage testing, I had the Crimson and I had this at level 70 side by side. The damage comparison between these two is not that, there's barely any damage. The only thing that I would argue is that you can break impacts and other forms of mechanics that the game will throw at you, but the end of the line. So why I think this is a better than... why I think this is better, because if you look at Attal's options, she has one option for a hand cannon. So I tested the Del 7 comparatively to the Crimson. The gap between the Crimson and the Del 7 is so drastic. The gap between end of the line and the Royal actually isn't that far. So if you want to go from damage purposes and number purposes, the gap between these two, her Crimson and her Del 7 as a free-to-play player, is so drastic, and between the end of the line and the Royal is not that drastic. So I, as a free-to-play player, tried to get the most bang for my buck out of the weapons that I've selected. It is easier also to farm up Crimson out of the shifting gates, which makes it a lot easier for you to gain your catalyst boosts. But if you look at the end of the line, we can go back to the perks real quick. I want to touch it up on it real fast. The Searing Mark is amazing, an amazing trait, along with the Fraternity. It is seriously an amazing thing. You can get easy exotic mods from doing your Grandmaster and Master activities. But I can also showcase a little bit of a damage number again really fast. Just place these out really quick. Obviously, I got my thing boosted, so I'm going to shoot one time, proc my missiles. As you can tell, I need to proc an ability for my weapon boost. So as you can tell, I'll hit Mind, so I proc my damage increase, and you can just tell how much this just shreds. I hit that big crit at the end, was over 200k, and the rapid fire on the Crimson, as I said, is just, it is such a good option for a free-to-play player. If you want to keep increasing your Mind to keep yourself your more overshields, as you can tell, I'm going to already proc it up to a 2600 shield, and I can keep procking it up. I have almost a 4000 overshield while still procking, so my next damage rotation, I would have a full stack of my missiles. So playing Attal as a free-to-play player, to get the most bang for your buck, you always need to be re-procking your missiles. Always need to be re-procking this, but do not forget you need to hit and activate an ability to proc your relic abilities. If you do use your Q, it is going to daze and blind all these targets, which will move them, so you have to adjust to the target. Alrighty, let's showcase it into a strike.
Gotcha.
Alright guys, so you saw me in the firing range. I went over all the combos and everything for Attal, and I want to show you in real time why I think Attal is an amazing choice for a free-to-play player. As you can tell, the Q, it ricochets off of all of those monsters, and so obviously you can tell we went over why I like to fire a couple times, because I have full mastered proc. You'll see me reload right here, and then you'll see the arc missiles. As you can tell, the Crimson is just shredding every single one of these mobs, so every time you go in, you want to be procking your damage boosts. She rips through arc shields so fast. And if you notice, her Crimson still will break shields with her weapon mastery. She will constantly proc that as you go through the encounter, or as you go through most encounters. You always want to be proccing your heals to give you an overshield. It just makes it so you can tank monsters, mechanics a lot easier, just in case you make a mistake. You know, we all do, we're human. The one thing I will say, don't fire a couple times if you get to the half clip and you reload and you've only shot in 4 of your arc missiles. it will reset your stacks. So make sure to dump all of your arc missiles before you reload. That is the one thing that I see a lot of Attal players do. They do not get the full value from all of their arc missiles, and they are losing out on a lot of DPS, plus breaking shields for free. As you can tell, you'll see me always randomly hit my heal before I'm going into my next phase of combat, because I like to increase my weapon mastery a little bit faster and to constantly keep my overshield proc. As you can tell, I still have my 4,000 overshield, which we all know that a 4,000 overshield in any combat scenario can almost tank most damage things from the game. It'll help you tank mechanics, it'll help you live longer. You can also proc heals on your team, as you can showcase with if I had Private Skies helping me with the video, but if I had Private Skies using their ultimate and I had that last talent point, I could increase that little damage sum by 30%. That is almost the equivalent, I think it is the equivalent of Tan2's ult himself. The only issue is it only increases during the super. It doesn't, I can't just proc it on people all the time while she heals. Unfortunate, yes, but she is also a 4-star free-to-play character friendly. So, for damage purposes, Skies, by all means, sit back for a second and relax. Let me showcase what my damage will look like on this boss. So as I said, you want to make sure you're proccing an ability, even if you don't hit with that Q. I am just proccing my weapon mastery from my artifact. As you can tell, as in her kit, her last shot, as you can tell from my trait, is going to be held at a higher efficiency. So you always want to, even though if you aren't fully loaded, you always want to be making sure you're landing headshots. I know sometimes in the middle of a strike or form of content, it is going to be hard for you to always proc your headshots. I know with practice, you will be able to always hit it, or a lot of the time. As you can tell, the Crimson paired with the End of Time is just such a good choice for Attal. It seriously is. She's such a free-to-play player friendly, showcasing her damage. She almost hits as hard as Tan2, the predecessor to Attal being a 5-star hero in a support class and in a healer. So if you guys agree, let us know what you think in the comments. If you have found something better for Attal, if you have traits, artifacts you want to show off, link it in the comments, like the video, guys.
Alrighty, we thank Tiva for showcasing this amazing, and got MVP.
I had to have Skies not hit. I had to have Skies not hit sometimes, but yes.
Oh, well, look, guys, even better. So with that, Tiva, thank you so much for showcasing this for us. And with that, guys, that is going to be the end of this video for Attal. Like Tiva said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to show us a little bit of love down there in the comment section, and with a like and maybe a subscription. We're trying to get these videos out to you guys quick, fast. We have more characters on the way. We have Gwyn's, we have an updated Tan build coming, we have a Meko build or Umeko builds coming. We have everything coming, and so your love, your support goes a long way to making us, to help us continue doing that. Once again, for a little tidbit, we do live stream these tests, guys. We sit down, we do, we make different changes. We try to figure out what's better. We do different, damage testings and things live on our Twitch. And so if you guys want to see a little bit behind the scenes and just, you know, be a part of an amazing community or get some help on some runs or just whatever the case, you just want to hang out live, come check me out over on the Twitch at Lord Brandon 10. We'll have the link down for that in the description below. And last but not least, I'll leave you guys on our Discord. We have an amazing Discord community, guys, where we have people who come in, they ask questions, they get the answers they want, they need runs, they form runs, raids. We have such an amazing community, guys. If it wasn't for this community, the content on this channel would be drastically slow. So please consider joining our Discord server if you are just looking to be around a great community of Destiny Rising people who will literally hold your hand and make sure they see you to the very top. And so with that, I leave you guys. We'll see you guys in the next Destiny Rising video, and thank you all again. Bye for now.